welcome. You're watching the news updates on AFRICUNIA TV, bringing you updates from the African scene, the foreign scene, and the world of sport. And I'm Deborah Ezeh. We begin from the African scene, where Sudan's top general, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has warned against any foreign interference in the country's internal affairs during a speech after he attended the conclusion of a military exercise in Makul area in the northern Nile River state. Al-Burhan accused diplomatic missions of encouraging revolts against the Sudanese defense forces. He further said that this has destabilized the country, which is already in the grip of violent protests. At least 44 protesters were killed and 100 were wounded since the coup, according to the Sudan Doctors Committee. And moving on, people in Uganda queued up outside vaccination centers in the capital Kampala on Wednesday, a day after the country confirmed its first cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. The virus was detected in 7 travelers from South Africa and Nigeria who arrived at Entebbe International Airport on November 29th and are currently in isolation. Those affected were said to display only mild symptoms, and the arrival of the new variant has driven some previously vaccine hesitant Ugandans to get a job. And in the Republic of Congo, the Congolese army and the UN force in the DRC on Tuesday agreed on a framework for joint operations against the more than 100 hand groups that have been active in the east of the country for nearly 3 decades. The two parties signed an agreement in Kinshasa. The agreement document entitled Guidelines for Joint Operation was signed at the Congolese Army headquarters. The commander of the Monusco, Force General Afonso da Costa, said the engagement of the Blue will only take place alongside the Congolese Army and will help in reinforcement, intelligence, logistics, and protection of civilians in the vicinity. Military officials further stated that Monusco peacekeepers would not participate in ongoing joint operations between the Congolese and the Ugandan in eastern DRC, though information sharing will be a priority. And now we head to Western Africa. In Nigeria, the cost of premium motor spirit, petrol, imported into Nigeria from January to September this year surged by 55.56% to 2.52 trillion naira from the 1.62 trillion naira spent in the same period of 2020. The development came amid the federal government's plan to remove subsidy from petrol by February next year. Already, oil marketers have begun plans to resume importation of the PMS as soon as government deregulation or deregulates the downstream sector of the petroleum sector in the first quarter of 2022. And still in Nigeria, in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is contemplating a series of options to push the adoption of the eNaira, including the possibility of making it a payment gateway. Ultimately, the Apex Bank is looking at expanding the use cases of the central bank digital currency, increasing its adoption and making it more relevant to the payments ecosystem. CITM President Adesina Adebayo is hopeful a wider adoption of the digital currency will help the government to increase tax revenue, as it's expected to help relevant agencies to monitor and track transactions. And more updates from Nigeria. The Saudi Arabia Authority was the latest country to slam its doors against Nigeria as it yesterday suspended all flight operations coming from Nigeria into the kingdom over the outbreak of Omicron variant of COVID-19. An official statement issued by Saudi General Authority of Civil Aviation directed to all airports and private aviation operators in the kingdom ordered suspension of all flights coming directly or indirectly from Nigeria. Incidentally, Saudi came with a restriction order barely 7 days after the country recorded an index case of Omicron from a passenger returning from North Africa into the country. And now on the foreign scene, the Democratic-controlled U.S. Senate on Wednesday approved a Republican measure that would overturn President Joe Biden's COVID-19 vaccine or test mandate for private businesses, with 2 Democrats joining Republicans to back the initiative. The 52 to 48 votes send the legislation to the Democratic-led House of Representatives, where it faces strong headwinds, while Biden has threatened to veto it. The legislation would overturn administration rules ordering businesses with 100 workers or more to require vaccinations or coronavirus testing for millions of employees. And still on the foreign scene, New Zealand plans to ban young people from ever buying cigarettes in their lifetime in one of the world's toughest crackdown on the tobacco industry, arguing that older efforts to extinguish smoking were taking too long. People aged 14 and under in 2027 will never be allowed to purchase cigarettes in the Pacific country of 5 million, part of a proposal unveiled on Thursday that would also curb the number of retailers authorized to sell tobacco and quote nicotine levels in all products. And now on the sports scene, Zidane Igba has become the first British South Asian footballer in Manchester United's history after coming off the bench in the Champions League game against Young Boys. The 18-year-old trained with the first team on Tuesday before taking his place on the bench for Wednesday's visit of the Swiss side with qualification and top spot in Group F already secured. Igba, wearing shirt number 73, came on in the closing stage of the game, replacing England international Jesse Lingard. And finally, Barcelona crashed out of the Champions League on Wednesday as their 3-0 defeat of Bayern Munich saw the Spanish Giants fail to reach the last 16 for the first time in 16 years. Goals by Thomas Muller and Leroy Sané gave Bayern a 2-0 halftime cushion in falling snow at the Allianz Arena, which was devoid of spectators due to high numbers of COVID-19 cases in Bavaria. Teenager Jamal Musiala grabbed Bayern's third in the second half to seal Barcelona's fate. And it's a wrap on News Update today. Do ensure to follow all our social media platforms on Jointum, Pangram, Instagram and Facebook respectively. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected and updated to our news and other programs. Once again, I'm Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for watching.